Hey babes, my name's Hannah.
And my name's Chasity.
Welcome back to Bookish Babes. We have filmed our personal spooky book recommendations. That might be up before this one.
Probably.
Depending on how we upload it. But this video is going to be spooky books that we want to read. We figured we would make this around this season just in case you are also looking for recommendations. These are ones that sound really interesting to us and have gotten decent reviews. So these are ones on our list, and then hopefully next year we can film another video around this time of year and let you know if we read them and what we thought.
Yeah. And maybe we'll be recommending them.
Maybe. I'd like to think.
Or not.
I know. One of these for sure I think I'm going to like, but
I think I'm going to like a few of these.
Yeah.
So the first one that I want to read, which has come highly recommended by several people, Hidden Pictures. I don't know how to say this last name. Jason Recolek? Sure, why not?
Sounds like a Swedish town or something.
Why not? Sure. This one sounds super, super spooky. There's also actually pictures in the book.
Oh, like photos or like drawn pictures?
I don't know, I haven't opened yet.
Okay.
I didn't want to ruin the experience.
Okay.
But I heard that they're super creepy. Super, super creepy.
Yeah.
So.
That's fun.
Could be.
Right. My first one is A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Wellingham. This one is about a, now keep in mind I haven't read these, but just from the synopsis, it looks like it's about a woman who, in her hometown, several girls go missing, and then this is now her as an adult, and she's kind of noticing a similar thing happening, and like she feels like she's left that behind, and she's a psychologist now, and yet it feels like it's kind of coming back to her, and she has to, like, from the synopsis it looks like she has to decide if she's either seeing the parallels or if they're actually there. I just think that all sounds really fun.
This one also sounds very interesting to me. I also have this one.
When I was going through my list, she was like, oh, I want to read that one too.
Okay, so the next one that I want to read is Two Little Girls by Laura Jarrett. I've seen this book several times, and the cover, first of all, freaks me out, and also interests me at the same time. So this one is about a car accident, one woman and two little girls, and she only has enough time to save one of the girls. And so it's about like the choice of the decision she makes in that split second and what happens after.
Oh, interesting.
And then coming to terms with the effect, like the rolling effect after that.
Yeah.
Because then it turns around, and at least from what it says, it's like what actually happened on that road that night. Okay. So I'm assuming there's more to the story.
I would assume. ... Next one on my list is Nothing But Blackened Teeth by Cassandra Kaw, I think is how you say it. I'm not even gonna try to like interpret the synopsis on this one. It's a Japanese novel, and I don't know if it wasn't originally written in Japanese and translated.
It was.
Okay. It says it's something about like these people are at a wedding venue, and then they see the ghost. It says, for lurking in the shadows is the ghost bride with a black smile and a hungry heart, and she gets lonely down there in the dirt. This one is super controversial, which is why I want to read it. I saw somebody on TikTok talk about it, and they mentioned that like everybody else hates it, but they loved it, and I love books like that. Because I love giving my unsolicited opinion to people. So there's one thing I'll do. I'll read something controversial and definitely won't shut up about what I thought about it. So I'm very excited to pick this one up.
Okay, yeah. I have heard a lot about that one.
A lot of very controversial stuff, right? Like you either love it or you hate it.
Yeah.
There's nobody that read it that was like, that was fine. Like,
yeah, I do not hear very many, oh, that was okay.
Yeah.
So the next one that I want to read has been on my list for a while, and I just haven't gotten around to it, but soon. It's Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. And this one is about a girl who gets a call from her newlywed cousin frantic and needing rescuing. Although she feels like she's definitely not the one to do it because she's like this debutante, like very classy.
Also, she's not the police.
Right. Not the police.
Like, girl, what am I, an Avenger? Call the cops.
Call Captain America,
Yeah.
not me. So anyways, she goes there and she can't really find anything wrong. But then it says she starts to unravel more and more stuff. But I mean, it sounds really, really
I've heard good things about that one.
dark and mysterious, so I really, really want to.
You know who recommended it was, God, what was her name? Claire Contreras.
Yes.
I saw her post about it,
Ooh, okay.
like back when it came out. Next one on my list, also on her list, is Come With Me by Ronald
Malfi?
Malfi, I think is how you say it. So this one, from what I've gathered, is about a man who just lost his wife. His wife just passed away and he's kind of still dealing and like processing her death. And then he finds a receipt for a hotel from not too long before she died, and he decides to go and look into it and see what she was doing leading up to her death, and he discovers a whole bunch of secrets about his wife's like double life.
What you been doing there, wifey?
Yeah, and so he kind of becomes obsessed with discovering what his wife was up to and figuring out who the woman he was married to was.
Listen, I would become obsessed with
I
it
know.
too.
And the synopsis said he becomes so obsessed with it even if it puts his own life at risk. It is in the horror section, so I know it's got to be something along those lines. I'm very pumped. This is probably the one I'll get to first. I have it on hold at the bookstore.
I've also been wanting to read this one for a long time, and I feel like this one, maybe it was this one, maybe it was another one. It was a Joe Hill that you picked out for me when we were gonna do.
It was that one.
It was that one?
Because you said you wanted to read it, yeah. And then I happened to stumble upon it and I was like, oh. We were gonna do a video where we picked out books for each other at the bookstore. And then we read them and then did a book on it, or a video on it. So we went to the bookstore, picked out the books, purchased the books, and we haven't read them or done the video.
We failed, is what we did.
Yeah.
But listen, we'll get there, okay?
We are failures.
It was early in...
This was
early
years
on.
ago.
Okay,
This was very
it was early
early.
on.
We had more faith in ourselves than we deserved.
If we were to do that now, we would get it done.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I think we know each other's tastes better now.
But this one is not Nosferatu by Joe Hill, which I do want to read.
That's Stephen King's son, right?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
And I want to read it. So bad.
I wonder if that fucked up mind is genetic.
Probably.
Yeah. Joe Hill does get good reviews, so I would assume.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. That, what was it, that Black Phone that just came out? That was part of, it was part of another one that was re-released.
Interesting.
I can't think of it right now, but 20th Century Ghosts. That's what that one was.
So the next one on my list is Never Let You Go by Chevy Stevens. I've heard a lot of great things about not only this author, but this book. This one is about a woman who leaves an abusive relationship with her daughter. Her ex-husband goes to prison and they move on with their lives. Now it's years later, the ex-husband is out of prison, and simultaneously all these weird things start happening. She feels like she's being watched. Her current partner gets threatened, her daughter gets stalked, and all these other things, and she's obviously assuming that it's the ex-husband, but the synopsis kind of suggests that it might not be the ex-husband.
Of course you're going to think it's the ex-husband, and then
Right.
it's not going to be.
Right. So, I've heard really great things about it. Maybe it's like
But maybe not.
I would like to formally, like I said, I haven't read it, so I'm not spoiling anything, but I'd like to formally guess that it's the current boyfriend. But I feel like that's the other obvious.
I feel like it's going to be the current boyfriend setting up
Yeah.
that old.
Yeah. So we'll see when I read it.
we're gonna have to wager our bets now.
Yeah.
The next one that I want to read, which again, this one's been on my list for a bit, A Head Full of Ghosts by Paul Tremblay. I have a few of Paul Tremblay's books. Another author in horror that I've been wanting to get to. This one is about a girl who starts to display some signs of schizophrenia, but she comes from a very devout Catholic family, and they believe their pastor is correct, and they start to do things like exorcisms because they believe that she is possessed.
Great. Instead of getting her mental help, she is a doctor and some medication.
So we go down that route.
Yeah.
And I'm not entirely sure how it goes, but I want to know. So we're going to read
That's
that.
fair. Yeah.
It's probably not going to go well.
I would
honestly.
assume not. Somebody who needs mental help being subject to an exorcism.
Probably not.
I could tell you right now it doesn't go well.
It's
No.
great.
Last one on my list is The Mist by Stephen King. Now, there's several of his books that I haven't read that I want to, but this one's so high on my list. In fact, I bought it and I'm going to start it probably this
Buddy
week.
read.
Yep. I loved the movie. I'm one of those rare people who actually loved the ending to the movie. Have you seen it?
Yes, I loved it.
And I like the ending. The ending is so controversial, but I really like the ending. It's about this town that suddenly one day gets covered with this thick mist that has these like murderous monsters inside of it. So they're all trapped together in this, in the movie it's a grocery store. I'm assuming it's the same in the book. And it's really just, it's sort of Lord of the Flies-esque, where it shows you how humans react when they're put in stressful situations and their like survival instincts kick in and they really start to turn on each other. And I also think that there are like some deeper meanings. I don't want to spoil too much, but you see why you see a lot of people turn to like this woman who's not being logical, but they want so badly to find reason in what's going on that they start following her. And you know, some of the people kind of stand up and say, you know what, we need to go get supplies, this is how it's gonna be. And then, you know, they witness all sorts of other monsters, and it's a whole thing. But it was very, the movie is so great, and I really, really am interested to see if I feel the same way about the book. Because I know the ending is different, but I don't know what the ending is in the book, so.
So that's what we have for you today. We plan on reading these soonish.
There's two that I'm definitely going to read soon.
I'll read them eventually.
Yeah.
I'll get there.
Two that I'll get to in the next 60 days. I'll commit to that.
I'll get there eventually.
Yeah. I think our goal should be to get to these by next Halloween.
Next Halloween.
Yeah.
Next Halloween, that's my goal. Because listen,
I'm rereading Twilight right now. I'm in a whole other thing. So
I already have so many. I will do this for till the end of the year. I cannot commit to any more of those. I already know I can't.
Because I'll just reread another book.
It's just gonna stress me out.
I'll just reread A Court of Mist and Fury again.
For real, like I can't do it.
Yeah.
But anyways, so that's what we have for you today. Comment down below. Let us know what you think. Hit that like button and subscribe. And make sure you turn on that notification bell so you know when we post next. Bye.